All right, for our math warm-up today, we have 4 problems with exponents. So go ahead and write down these 4 problems and their answers and pause your video. Come on back when you're ready. All right, so if we take a look at our first problem, something times 10 to the second power equals 1,800. Our answer would be 18. Our second problem, something divided by 10 to the second power equals 7 39/100. So our answer would be 739. Our third problem, something times 10 to the fourth power equals 550,000. And that answer would be 55. And our last one, something times 10 to the third power equals 550. And our answer there would be 0 and 55/100. How'd you do? Okay, for our math message today, you will need a calculator. So if we take a look at our directions, it says, use a calculator to solve these problems. Record a number sentence for each problem. And then I want you to be thinking about any patterns that you might notice. Pause your video and complete that now, please. All right, so let's see, how did you do? Were any of you surprised that the answer to each one of these problems was the same? So when we're talking about patterns, that would be one. The fact that each of our equations has the same numbers, but decimal points are in different places, but yet we still got 20 for our answer for each one of those. Any other patterns that you might have noticed? So how many tenths are in 2? We know that 10 tenths is in 1, so there would be 2 times 10 or 20 tenths in 2. So we kind of extend our thinking a little bit, and that carries over to several of those other problems. So if we look at the dividends, right, our dividend is 2 every single time. It's just in a different place. So here's my dividend, my dividend, my dividend, 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 right? That's what we're dividing by, or into, I guess. Okay. So when we think about the dividends themselves, each dividend is 10 times as large as the dividend before. So remember how we've talked about the place value system and how when we move to the left or the right, it usually jumps by 10. The decimal point moves one place to the right, which means each divisor is 10 times as large as the divisor before. So when we think about patterns, that would be another one. So this reminds me that when we are creating equivalent fractions, for example, we will multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So we are using the same operation with the same number to create an equivalent fraction. We are going to be doing the same kinds of things with division problems and decimals. We're going to make the same change to both the dividend and the divisor, and it will not change the quotient, which is our answer to the division problem. So, as a reminder that we may have forgotten, every fraction can be interpreted as a division problem and vice versa. For example, 5 divided by 8 would equal 5/8. Right? How could we write 2 divided by 0 and 1/10 as a fraction? There's a tricky one, right? How would we write 2 divided by, let me get my writing tool here, 2 divided by 0 and 1/10 as a fraction, we would write 2 and then our 1/10 underneath, which looks kind of wild, doesn't it? But that's how we would write it. How could we write 20 divided by 1? Right, is another one of those problems. We would write 20 over 1, like a fraction. So that's going to come in handy for us because we're going to be creating equivalent problems today. And that's going to make sense here, hopefully, in the next few minutes. So our lesson is division of decimals by decimals. Wah, wah, wah. So we are doing this lesson today because we need to make sense of problems. We need to be able to solve problems in more than one way. And we're going to do that by applying what we know about equivalent fractions to create equivalent problems to divide decimals by decimals. So let's talk about some things that we need to remember and some rules and reminders. So to create equivalent fractions by multiplying numerator and denominator by the same number. So I want to remind you of that's how we create an equivalent fraction. We also want to remember that every fraction can be written as a division problem. And we can use the same rule for dividing decimals by multiplying the dividend and the divisor by the same number. So let's take a look at some practice problems dividing decimals. So our first problem, we have 3 divided by 0 and 2/10. So we need to be thinking about the different parts of the equation. What is the divisor? The divisor is 0 and 2/10. What number could we multiply 0 and 2/10 to get a whole number? We could multiply 0 and 2/10 times 10, and that would give us 2. So that's how we would turn that into a whole number. So just like equivalent fractions, when we are creating an equivalent problem, we are going to need to do the same thing to our other number in our division problem, which means we're going to take 3 times 10, which gives us 30. So now we have a new division problem that is equivalent to the original. You're going to have 30 divided by 0 and 2/10. Or I should say 2. And we would get an answer of 15 from that new problem. Now, what is 3 divided by 0 and 2/10, which was our original problem? We would say 15. So why are our answers the same? Because we have equivalent problems. So let's take a look at our next practice problem. We have 8 divided by 0 and 2/100. So again, if we want to take this problem and make an equivalent problem to make it a little bit easier to solve, what can we do to change some of that? So if I take my divisor, of 0 and 2/100ths, and I multiply that by 100, that is going to give me a whole number of 2. So then that means we're going to have to do the same thing to our dividend. So we would take 8 and multiply that times 100, which gives us 800. And now our new division problem is going to be 800 divided by 2, which equals 400. So 8 divided by 0 and 2/100ths is equal to 400. So we created an equivalent problem here. We moved our decimal points, remember, by multiplying by 100. And then that made an equivalent problem, which gives us the same answer that we get in the actual problem. All right, so I'm running out of space here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of that, and we will do the last 2 problems. Okay, so our next problem is 4 and 2/10ths divided by 0 and 7/10ths. So notice that both my dividend and my divisor this time have a decimal. So we're kind of working our way to that point. And we need to be looking at this problem and thinking, what can I do to make an equivalent problem? What could I multiply by? So go ahead and pause your video and see if you might be able to figure that out on your own. All right, so if I take the 0 and 7/10ths times 10, that's going to give me 7. And I take the 4 and 2/10ths times 10 is going to give me 42. So now I have an equivalent problem that's going to be 42 divided by 7, which equals 6. So 4 and 2/10ths divided by 0 and 7/10ths equals 6. And last but not least, our problem here, we have 3 and 9/10ths times 0 and 3/100ths. So again, we want to change those numbers to whole numbers by multiplying. So if we multiply by 10, will that work? Or do we need to multiply by 100? What do you think? So if I want to change both of them to whole numbers, I'm probably going to multiply each one by 100. So if we take 0 and 3/100ths times 100 equals 3. 3 and 9/10ths times 100 equals 390. So our new problem will be 390. If I can get my stylus to write here, divided by 3 equals 130. So 3 and 9/10ths divided by 0 and 3/100ths equals 130. So let's summarize. We can create and use the same strategy for equivalent fractions to divide decimals by creating equivalent problems. High five, y'all. Good job. Can't wait to see you in class.